What is deconstruction? Let me quickly explain this, and you'll see how this ties in. Today, a lot of young people, often after they graduate college and kind of launch out into life and find that life is like different and harder and more confusing than maybe I thought it was. A lot of young people, and especially millennials, are seeking counselors or authors or teachers who will help them deconstruct unhealthy perspectives or beliefs or views that they've been taught or accumulated, often growing up in religious settings. Okay? Sometimes these people have bad experiences from their past, and it sometimes involves being hurt by people within a church community. So they're seeking answers, right? They're seeking help. They're seeking wholeness. There are actually deconstruction counselors or deconstruction therapy that people can be a part of, which tries to kind of help sift through the layers to arrive at a more complete understanding of self and spirituality. Okay, and many young people kind of feel that their mental health has been sacrificed in order to hold the line of religious beliefs they've been taught. And so they find themselves asking, do I need to keep living this way? Is there something I'm missing? And they'll seek help from a counselor who can help deconstruct what has been built. As I've been thinking about this, I think the first person to use deconstruction on humans was Satan. And let me explain. Adam and Eve were given rules and boundaries and told what life is like from God. They're given direction and a purpose to take care of creation, have dominion over it. And then Satan comes and asks, is this really what God meant? Just because you were taught this, is it really what's best for you? Maybe there's actually something better and more real for you to live by, right? Satan was a deconstruction counselor for Adam and Eve. And the harmful thing about his deconstruction is his end goal. His end goal is not to undo wrong thinking and beliefs and then replace them with accurate truth. His goal is just to unravel any attachment these humans would have to the one true God. He just wants to take the pieces apart, leave them on the floor in a pile, and say, you can actually kind of put this back together how you choose. Whatever you feel is best for you, your peace, your mental health, you get to kind of decide how this is going to look going forward. And Adam and Eve took the advice and got to live separate from God, separate from his presence, separate from his design for their lives, away from blessing, and now colored by curse. And it was empty, to say the least. It was the beginning of unspeakable pain for the human race. It presented death to the world. The demonic powers and authorities delivered a significant blow to humanity. Now, there's another example of someone using deconstruction in the Bible. Jesus. Jesus is talking to the Pharisees, the religious leaders, and on multiple occasions, over and over, Jesus would say things like, you have heard that it was said, but I tell you, it's really like this. Okay? It's one example in Matthew. You've heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. Makes sense? But I say, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. Jesus would replace the old belief or old way of thinking with a more accurate truth that fully captures the heart of God and explains the life that God's calling us to live. Right? Jesus was deconstructing old harmful beliefs for religious people. But his goal was to strengthen their attachment to truth and their attachment to the one true God. He's unraveling the lies and deception and twisted ideas and beliefs these people had picked up along the way. And he was intentionally helping them build the pieces back together into truth. And every time Jesus did this, he would emphasize sacrificial love and taking obedience to God very seriously. He didn't lower the bar. It was never follow your heart. It was never, hey, let's find a generous compromise, that really sits well with you. It wasn't that. His teachings were not empty philosophy or deceit according to human tradition. It was the Christ way, according to Christ. Even if our culture's philosophies of life, even if they seem to have good intentions to help you with things like having better mental health, which is important, but if the answer revolves around you and your preferences, it's not going to help. It's going to make your problems worse. We need Jesus. I need answers that will exalt him in my life. He's superior to the gods and ideas of the culture. In him, the whole fullness of deity dwells. He's your good shepherd, right? He's not going to lead you into lies that enslave you. He's going to lead you into truth that sets you free.